a name synonymous to justice, podcasting, and media world. So if you are out there, put your hands together for the one, the only, Adele Onyango. Adele, unanisikia, good morning. You have so many hats. Like you do a lot of things, but then you're known to be a podcaster. And of course, I loved your shows on radio. I actually look up to you on matters interviewing and how you just conversate and make a great conversation. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for the kind words. I really do appreciate it. And you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. This is the second time I'm hosting you. Unfortunately, you can't be here. You can't be in studio today. But
yeah.
I know with traffic and everything, I just wanted you to be at the comfort of your space. But just how do you introduce yourself in an ordinary day? Because I might have just gone way overboard than how you ordinarily introduce yourself.
No, I think you did a good job. But on normal days, I never say anything I do because over the last couple of years, I've understood there's a huge difference between who you are and what you do. And I never want those two things to be mixed. So I just normally say I'm Adele Onyango. I never go into what exactly I do because who knows what I'm going to be doing in the next 5 years.
Who's going to know, by the way? And congratulations. Since we met a few years back, I'm so blown away by the things that you've done. One of them being you got an award for most influential people of African descent in 2020. How's that for you? And of course, the recognition was for media personality and podcaster when it comes to matters culture and media in general. Just talk to me about how exciting it is for you. What changed after that?
Oh my God, that was so amazing. In fact, I didn't know I was on the list. It's a relative of somebody else who was on the list. We were, I think, only 2 Kenyans, if I'm not wrong. So one of the other Kenyans on the list, her brother called my partner and was like, oh, congratulations. And so he's asking me, what have you done? I'm like, I don't know. Why am I being congratulated? But I think that was a huge honor also because it was from my pad is under the UN, right? And they really do so much work to bring people of African descent together. And my podcast has been invited to one of their summits and just to record stories around Africans and people of African descent. And that one was actually in Senegal. And so they were people of African descent who were coming to the continent for the first time ever. So it was so magical. It was a lot for them. And it was so great to be able to capture those stories as well. And so, yeah, being on that list was just magical. I don't think it really changed too much, like for me as an individual, because I know where I'm going. I know where I want my podcast to go. So it was like, yay, and then back to work.
That's really exciting. And one thing is, I've always wanted to ask you a question. Last time I skipped it because everyone was asking Adele and her transition from mainstream radio, which was, it's a radio station well known to us and across the nation. So people are looking at the celebrity status and how you just decided to transition into doing your own thing. What was the most scary thing you ever imagined about the crossover from just mainstream media where you're doing really great and going into a space where you're doing your own thing?
I think I actually posted about this on my Instagram this past week. It was 2 types of fears. Fear of the unknown, because when I looked around, I couldn't see anybody who had done this. And it seemed like I was a mad woman leaving a top job on a core station on primetime radio. I was co-hosting a breakfast show to start this thing that not many people understood. And so those fear of the unknown, like what does that even look like? And then those fear of failure. I was like, oh, what if, you know, everybody who's staying in employment knows something that I don't? And then I go here and then it just doesn't get to be successful or impactful. So I definitely had fear of failure and fear of the unknown. I think many people focus on finances, but I always think like money problems are very 1 + 1. And so if you need 50,000, you can deduce where you need to get it from, what you need to sell off and stuff like that. But when it comes to internal emotional battles with fear, that is something else.
True story. Like most of the people don't know how to transition, especially from jobs. COVID has really affected so many people. How has it affected you directly or indirectly?
I think I was already working from home. So when I left in 2019, I'd set up my home office stroke studio space, which is where I'm in now. And so I was already accustomed to working from home. I was already jumping on Zoom calls because some of the people that I work with, for example, like the Mock family, which of course, you know, we're going to talk about in a bit. But yeah, so we were already doing Zoom calls and Google Meets. So by the time the entire world was moving to work from home, I think I had a head start in getting accustomed to that. And then because I'm a digital platform, a lot of people moved their marketing budgets onto a digital platform. Not to say I made like tons of money, but I was positioned in a very good place to be able to still market certain products and get into commercial partnerships, just because I had a reach, or still have a reach via the podcast, and you know, people still needed to get their stuff heard out there, but they were trying to hoard all of their budget just because we didn't know what COVID was going to bring. But even aside from work, I think it's also important to remember just our mental health. I think a lot of us are going through pandemic fatigue right now, and we're tired. We're just like, when will we be able to move around as normal? Hopefully that will be soon if we all take care of ourselves and take care of the people around us. So I know we're tired, but let's just keep sanitizing, wear your mask, social distancing, and leave your house if you must.
Yes. Okay. I'm so excited for you. 2 years, Legally Clueless.
Yes.
I have listened to so many. I listen to it passively because I don't watch. I just plug in and then sleep, so it gets into my subconscious. I get to wake up and start feeling like I've traveled to Nigeria, Senegal, I've been to India or some random spot in Asia, and that's exciting. How do you feel? 2 years now, and of course I'm going to be playing a clip so that people get to have a glimpse of Legally Clueless and how you celebrated that.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so proud of the podcast. I mean, in February, on the 8th, we hit 100 stories. So we had our first ever video special, which was just so amazing. I'm so proud of us and the entire team that worked on that. And then comes March and we turned 2 years old, which is also so beautiful. And we're marking so many highs. I mean, we have our syndication partnership with Trace. So the podcast plays on Trace, which is revolutionary for digital media, if you ask me. We've been to so many countries, and I'm just like thinking about how scared I was on episode 1 and being like, man, I wish I could go back and tell that chick, you got this, it's going to be amazing. 2 years down the line, you will be so proud of yourself.
Nice. I'm proud of you as well. So, and the team. And we're going to be talking about teamwork and some of the partnerships you have. And you're speaking this weekend. So how about we take a look at a short clip about Legally Clueless, because everyone else needs to get a glimpse of how the storytelling goes by. Take a look at it.
Have you ever seen an elephant? So the key thing is standing in front of me after it has threw me, my friend.
I had to buy padlocks. You see this part of a trouser, where you put the belt. When you have washed your trouser, then at the clothesline, you put a padlock here, and then you attach it there for security purposes.
Very white town. I remember I met one Nigerian guy on the street, and he was just like, I counted us, we're 22.
And I see this guy from the corner of my eye with a leather jacket and a helmet, and I'm like, guy, far.
I got signed immediately in Spain. I was able to do Vogue, Spain, Harper's Bazaar.
For a bit like 1.5 years, I was addicted to cocaine. I just got to a point where I was just dishonest with people. I was just trying to do anything, to go get high.
It's been an awesome 2 years of great African stories on Legally Clueless podcast, and we're just getting started.
My goodness, we're just getting started. That's true to say that. And of course, Adele, we are just getting started. I'd like to be featured in there someday when I make it big. You never know.
No! At any time, you're making it big. Every day is a big day for everyone. So for sure, we can have you on the podcast. You tell me when you're free.
Okay, all right. I have to find your number first because I had to go through people, I had to go through people. I'm like, yo, I'm hosting her. I don't have her number. What do you mean? But
oh my God.
So I'll send you.
Everyone has my number.
I'll send you a DM, and if you don't reply, I'm gonna publish something and say you're a snob. Okay? I'm gonna do that. Okay, fine. Let's talk about this weekend. Jump at the Sun, the moth in Nairobi. They have over 700 stories, 77 million in reception when it comes to podcasts. And you're speaking at the Kenya National Theatre this weekend. Talk to us, Adele. I'm so excited for you. I'll be there, so I'll just try and make sure. I'll be there, yes. So just talk to us about the partnership and what the stories are like this weekend.
Let me tell you, the Moth are such an amazing organization. They're a global organization that's dedicated to the art and craft of storytelling. And I first met them in 2018 when I went for one of their global community program trainings. So they train different people across the globe. I think now they've trained over 400 people to use storytelling to positively impact their communities. And the stories are from our true life experiences. So for example, the story that I worked on that at that training was to do with my late mom and grief and transitioning through that. So it was a really powerful it's a really powerful program to be part of. And so they have mock main stages where different storytellers get on stage and share these true life stories. And so that's what's going to be happening tomorrow at the Kenya National Theatre. Of course, you know, we're in a pandemic, so we have a live stream so everybody can join us from the comfort of their living rooms. But the powerful thing about the Moth is that when you listen to these stories, you not only enjoy them and you not only laugh a little and get excited, but you'll also learn things about you, because I really do believe that we're all really connected and our human experiences are connected, and there's no more magical way to bring that out than through stories. So Saturday is going to be one for the books. We had rehearsals yesterday. The storytellers are fantastic. First, they're all Kenyan, so you know we have to support our own. This is going to be a main stage happening in Kenya, but the show is to honor and to celebrate women, because this is Women's Month, which is why the theme is Jump at the Sun, which is from a quote that really is telling women to go for all they want. And so the stories will be so beautiful, but they'll also highlight some of the challenges that women are still going through. So I'm so excited, and I can't wait for everybody to experience the Moth. It's so mind-changing.
Okay, I hope they catch a glimpse of that, or maybe even register to watch it virtually. Melinda Gates was one of the people who was invited, but she couldn't make it, but she sent a representative. Have you met Melinda Gates? Because most of the girls were asking me, now go ask her if she has met Melinda Gates before, what did they talk about? Or if you're to meet Melinda Gates, what would you ask of her, or what would you tell her?
So I have met her on 2 occasions. I met her in 2018 at the Goalkeepers Conference, which was in New York. So I was part of the delegates who welcomed her, Bill, and the president of France. And then I also met her at the first ever Moth show I ever attended, which was also at the Kenya National Theatre. That was also 2018. And so she was in Kenya. And I think before we went to watch the Moth show, we had a small cocktail, and I met her at that cocktail. So yeah, I have met her before.
Okay, nice. There's something that happened this week. A young lady was raped and killed in the process. She died from the injuries that came as a result. Her name is Nungari, and I know you to be an advocate for the girl child. And of course, rape is something that you've been fighting for a very long time, and you condemn it. Some people say that the predator in this case shouldn't have seen the light of day. And what can we do as men to help fight against rape? Because it's only personal when it's our mom or our sister, but when it's passive. Some people just look at it from a very distant, it's such a distant conversation when you're looking at it from, it's not my relative. So how can young men especially and women just help in the fight against rape?
The first thing I want to say is to pass my condolences to her family and her friends and her loved ones, because first, on its own, death is terrible. And then to have such a violent death makes it even worse. And then right now, they have to fight for justice, which already shows you how broken our system is, that you're already the victims and family of the victims, but you're not even right now processing what's happened. You're focused on fighting for justice. Whereas if we had a system that just worked, that would not be the case. And the second thing is a huge percentage of perpetrators of rapists are men. Mm-hmm. So if men stopped raping, I think that would reduce the rape cases dramatically. So there's that. And then the third thing I want to say is that we also have to introspect and ask ourselves, how are we contributing to rape culture? Because rape culture is maybe our jokes, the things we find funny, the truths that we pass on that are actually discriminatory or pulling women down. And you have to ask yourself, how am I contributing to rape culture? Because rape culture is a space that allows rape to thrive. How am I contributing to that? Secondly, how am I holding the people around me accountable? So in your squad of boys, if there's always one who is very aggressive with women, and you guys just let it happen, or he is sharing memes and stuff that actually, if you look at them, you're like, this is promoting rape, right? Mm-hmm. Have you guys called him out, all right? Mm-hmm. There's that. And then there's also us holding our leaders accountable. Because do we ever hear women's safety issues coming to the forefront, right? Mm-hmm. We're going into an election year. I want us to pay close attention to everybody who's going to be running for whatever position, even if it's your MCA. Mm-hmm. Do they bring up women's issues? We need to ask them, what exactly is your plan to ensure that women are safe? Because we're tired of living in a world where we have to hold our keys when we walk into our car in the basement because we're ready to use it as a weapon. We can't just use a taxi service as a man would, because we have more to lose in case the driver decides to rape us. So it's really not a way for people to live. So my question is, we need to introspect. We need to ask ourselves, how are we contributing to rape culture? Are we erasing it or are we upholding it? And then we have to hold leaders accountable.
Thank you so much.
When it comes to women's issues.
I have to cut you short.
Sorry, I can go on.
I know, you're so passionate about it. You're so passionate about it. Thank you so much for creating time to talk to us. You have given us incisive information about who you are as a person and, of course, what you stand for. Kudos for the job that you're doing, and it doesn't stop here. It continues. But I'm DMing you. If you don't send me a message, I am going to send it everywhere to bloggers and say that you're a snob. Thank you so much for creating time to talk to us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. That has been Adele Onyango. And of course, you can catch her this weekend. She's going to be doing a virtual event. And of course, coming up next is Hot Topics. We're going to take a short commercial break. On Hot Topics, we are talking about Kanye. We're talking about some of the greatest stories there is. We're going to be paying tribute to none other than Christian Longomba, who is a Kenyan legend and is known to have created